Hello, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Nolan. I'm an artist online, on social media. If this is your first time watching me, hello, thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to talk about social media and being an artist on social media and my thoughts on mainly an emphasis on short form content like TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts, stuff like that. I'm also trying to find a comfortable position in my bed. I can't figure it out, so if I'm moving a lot, I apologize. I make my own art. I spend a lot of my time working on original characters. Almost entirely all of my time is spent on my original characters. I have a few of them. There's three main ones: Asteroid, Otto, and Lucille. Asteroid is, there's a painting of him right here, but you can't see his full face. But if you go on any of my profiles, you'll find him. But I think I have an interesting take on social media as an artist because of the fact that I spend most of my time doing original work, and also because I do want to be a content creator. I think a lot of artists don't want to be a content creator. So I think something that is a little bit different about myself is that I do enjoy making content. So what I'm saying in this video applies to obviously me and my experience and my perspectives on social media. So what works for me may not work for you, so take that into account. But I'm mainly going to be speaking as somebody who enjoys being a content creator and would like to do that, and is also an artist. For me, the two go hand in hand. I've been posting online and making content, being a content creator for 9 years now, and I think I'm a good testimony to the idea that if you really want to do something, you will do it. I've received very little success from social media in terms of like how most people quantify success on social media is like millions of followers and tons of views and engagement. In that realm, I've not been too successful, but I really enjoy it, and this is something I want to do. But I've only been posting my art online for the past 2 years, so it is a different concept, a different route, but posting my art has become my main thing. It's all that I do. Working on art, posting art, and for the last 2 years I've been trying to find the balance of how to do both, and I think that's something a lot of us artists face as a struggle nowadays with social media. And I totally understand artists who don't want to be content creators feeling like they're kind of forced to, because everything nowadays is related to social media, and you have to have an Instagram to get into art markets, and you have to have a following and people to like your art online in order to make sales and all this stuff. So I totally understand it. My perspective is just that I enjoy content creation and I like doing it. I always have. But yeah, the main thing I want to talk about, I think, is just finding your rhythm and finding what works for you. And I'll explain it in a way where I talk about what I've been doing recently with social media. I have had quite the struggle of finding a rhythm between what I post and what I create with my art for the last 2 years. I'm a person who really likes things to be polished and to the best of my ability every single time that I do something, and that doesn't not include social media. I take every post super seriously. I've always been like, oh, I want to film with my nice 4K camera. I want the footage to be super crisp, and I want the audio to be great because I have a background in filmmaking. That was my big passion throughout high school into college, and it's still a huge passion of mine. I want to make films, and that's always the end goal for me, but I've kind of put that on the back burner. But because of that mindset, my social media has also become my like film reel of sorts sometimes. Not, I don't think of it like that now, but I definitely did for the last 2 years or so. So I struggled with being able to make quality art, quality videos, maintaining a social media, running a business, going to school, working jobs, you know, it was a lot to juggle. And this last 6 months or so, I've really been trying to find what's something that I can do that maintains all of that, but at a much smaller scale. And for me, it took a while, but this last week, I've really felt such a huge shift in my content and what I'm making and how I'm making it. And I want to share what it is that I am doing. And I guess if you're struggling with kind of the same mentality of everything has to be perfect, everything has to be good, all my studio vlogs have to be short film masterpieces, maybe this can help you. What I've been doing lately is posting online, especially on TikTok. TikTok is the perfect place to do this. For some reason, I used to take my TikTok so seriously, and I, in turn, wasn't posting a lot on TikTok because I was trying to make every TikTok be viral, make every TikTok be something that people would want to watch, give them a reason, do the hooks, do the hashtags, keywords, blah, blah, blah. TikTok is not the place to do that. TikTok is a place to run your mouth, to post as much as you want, to talk about whatever you want, and to have fun and be silly, be stupid, and just do whatever. So this last week, I was like, you know what? I'm going to post on TikTok like it's a Snapchat story. And by that, I mean posting updates throughout the day as I'm working on art, show as much of the process as I can. I've realized a lot of people do like to see the process on the art that you make. No matter how small or big of a scale it is, they like to see the process, see how you work. Everybody works on art differently. You can be working on the same medium as somebody else, and you guys do it completely different. And I think artists as well like to see how other people do art. So I've been posting a lot. I also used to make an emphasis to only post about art, post about my art, what I'm doing with my art, but not much about me. And I think this might be where the content creator side of my brain comes in, because I do want to be a content creator. So I've kind of made the switch to not just post about art, but equally post about myself and my interests and what I do. And if I go on a trip, I'll vlog. If I go do something cool, I'll vlog it, because as much as I want my art to be known, I also do have a desire to be known as well. That's why I've been posting on social media for 9 years, and the last 2 years have only been art, because I do want to be a content creator. I grew up in like the prime era of YouTube, so that's so ingrained into my brain, and I've been chasing that for a long time. So I think that's maybe where my mindset differs. But post about yourself. You know, your art is a great way to connect to people, but I think including who you are and you as a person and showing your personality and getting people to like you will help even more. It'll help people connect to you, which makes people help connect to your art, which makes people want to buy your art and support you as a person. I think it is very difficult to make a connection just on art alone. It's definitely not impossible, and it's a very strong way to do that. But I think having your personality alongside of it just helps it even more. And it's kind of like a why would you not do it type of a deal. But again, I understand if some people don't want to do that, and that's totally fine. I'm speaking from me, my perspective, and I do think I think there are also a lot of artists who do want to be a content creator as well as making art. And a lot of us do find enjoyment in it, but it's about balancing how much time you spend creating the content and editing versus your art. And I found that I was having a massive struggle with that, and I was giving too much time to content creation and not enough time to creating art, which then means that I had less stuff to create content about because I wasn't creating enough art to sustain it. and I went through a crazy like burnout midlife crisis type of feeling in my mind where I was like, I'm not making enough art. How are people making so much art all of the time to be posting every single day, multiple times a day, studio vlogs every week? And I realized it's because I'm not making enough art. And if you want to do just art on social media, you don't really want to be a content creator, you don't want to show your day-to-day life and be a personality online, this is especially important. Take less time in the crafting of your content. That doesn't mean make bad content. That doesn't mean make half-assed content where you're not caring. But take less time. Find a method that you can use to spend less time on it, but not less energy or not less. Don't care any less, if that makes sense. What I have done is come up with this new series that I do on my channel called Art and Chat, and it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. I make art, and that can be working on new projects, working on new sculptures, working on orders, packing orders, writing my novel, animating, anything that I deem related to art, journaling, sketchbook time, just anything. And while I do that, I also film a YouTube video, and I hook up my mic and I just press record and I just let it go, and I do it all in one take. I maybe will edit something out here and there, but the goal with those is to be creating a lot of content with low effort. And that is because I throw on the camera, throw on the mic, click record, and that's it. I just go and I make my art in real time. So I'm working on my art while making content, while also making a lot of content. Most of those videos are about an hour long, if not more. Sometimes they're a little less, but they tend to be like 45 minutes to an hour. And I post 2 or 3 a week. And it's a way to nurture my art online, nurture my personality online. It's a way to just be constantly filling the feed with myself and my art and get people to recognize me and my art, And I think it's great because it's very low effort for me. I just sync up the audio and then I upload it and then it's good to go. If you haven't made content like that, it'll take a minute to kind of get used to that, because it even took me a minute to get used to not cutting things out and speaking in one take. But another thing with that is, my dog's barking. Another thing with that is not caring so much. I've realized, like right now, this is something I'll probably cut out because my dog's barking like crazy. Amazon's probably here, someone's delivering something, but I don't know, my brother's here, he can go check on it. But one of the things that I used to hate was how much that I stop in my sentences to think about what I'm saying. I'll often get too far ahead of what I'm saying with my mouth, but my brain isn't caught up. But that's what we do as humans. We're not perfect. When you're out and about communicating with people, you take pauses, you have you think, and social media strips back all of that humanness. So I make an emphasis to keep that in, and if it takes me 30 seconds to a minute to think about what I'm saying, then so what? We sit in silence. You can double tap the screen and skip if that's that uncomfortable for you, or you can just leave. If you don't like me, and you don't like what I'm talking about or how I talk or who I am, you can leave. That's the cool thing about social media, is your audience will find you. So don't be so hard on yourself as well. I take so much less effort when I'm making my content. Not less caring and not less passion, but less effort and less time. TikTok is the same. I put up my phone, 60 seconds, click it. I don't like to use the 10-minute thing because odds are people aren't going to watch the whole 10 minutes. 60 seconds is a good enough time for people to stick around, and then the more you post on TikTok, the better. So, sorry if I'm doing part 1, part 2, part 3. It's because it's probably better for the algorithm. Odds are, even if I post the same TikTok, like if I were to post a 5-minute video as one video instead of 5 different parts, people are going to scroll on that first one. You're more inclined to watch the part series, so that's why people do it. That's why I'm doing it. And also because I like to repurpose it. That's another thing. Do it smartly so that you don't have to double your workload. I film everything in TikTok, and then before I post it, I save the video so it doesn't save with the watermark, and then I repurpose it and I post it to Instagram Reels and I post it to YouTube Shorts, and then I have content on all platforms throughout the day with very little energy and effort. But TikTok is where you get the up-to-date live version of me as I'm working on stuff. It's for people who want to see processes of behind the scenes, really want to feel attached to me. That's what that's for. YouTube, I also do in a similar vein, where lately I've been doing a lot of talking videos where I sit in one take, whether that's art and chat video, where I talk about things going on in my life and my art, and I have another series that I just started where I explain different art pieces that I've done, but that one is like I sit down and talk about the art. Then we have a video like this, which is more of like a journal entry thing that doesn't really fit in anything, but it's just a topic that I want to discuss. But yeah, I don't know. You have to find what works for you, but I urge you to find something that works in terms of taking less time, but don't take out any of your care for it. So by doing that, it frees you up to make more art, and it's okay to have content that isn't super polished. Odds are it's just you. You probably don't have a production team behind you. You don't have managers. You don't have people who are repping you. And that's one thing that I failed to learn or realize for a long time. I wanted everything to be so perfect, so well done, but it's difficult and it's unlikely for me to be able to run a business that looks polished, make content that looks polished, create art that is perfected as one 22-year-old. It's not likely. So I realized I needed to put my effort into different things, and what needs the most effort from me is the art. That is the basis of everything, and that's where most of my effort and energy needs to go into, is creating and crafting art. Content creation can be way less. People go viral with horrible lighting, bad audio, poorly structured narratives all the time. It doesn't matter. If it's something that you really feel like you want to do, then do it. But find what is most important to you and make that the priority, and lessen everything else. If you want things to be polished and perfect, you will get there. Me now, I'm doing it more like it also gives you room to grow. This is a realization I had. I was like, okay, well, I want 1205 Studios to be looked at the same way as like Disney and A24 and all of these studios, and I'm like, that's unreasonable. First of all, it's just me. They have hundreds of employees who can do all of that stuff. It's just me. But even if I was able to create an image and a brand and a persona and art that was at that level, that would give me nowhere to grow. By stripping everything down to just being me as a person and making an emphasis that to show that this is done by a human, by one human, and it's all crafted from me, gives me the room to grow and up my production value, up the amount of art that is created as I go on, and as things grow and grow, and then I can hire people, if I have the best cameras and the best editing software in the world and I know how to do all that myself, there's nowhere to grow. I've already reached the peak, so by stripping it down, I can take the time to grow properly and become something bigger. But I don't know, I've also, one thing that is important to also let go is just worrying about views, likes, comments, followers. It's not going to do you any good. Art is something that is not defined by views, comments, likes, shares, followers. That's not what art is for. It's not what it was made for. So do not focus on that. And that's something I'm still learning, and we all are learning. I think a lot of people are over caring about that stuff. But it's kind of the same vein of like grading art in school. Who are you to grade someone's art? Art is such a personal and subjective thing for each person. And I think the same way that it can't be graded, your likes and interactions on social media don't define it. I don't get tons of interaction, but there are people who really connect with my stuff. I've had people get asteroid tattooed on their body, and that is more meaningful than 1 million likes and 10 million views. Being able to connect to somebody that well, that they love a character enough. Maybe it's just the design, they thought it looked cool, but enough for them to think that, wow, this is cool, I just like how it looks, I want this on me forever. That's what is important with social media. It's not the likes, it's not the comments, it's the connection. And especially as artists, I think that's most of our backbone for creating, is being connected and being seen and understood. And I don't know, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I am speaking for myself, but I mean, like, for me, that is the goal with my art, and everything that I do is just to make people feel like there's somewhere that they belong, and there's connection, and they have characters that they can see themselves in. I've gone my entire life latching on to fictional characters, and that is how I have regulated my emotions and felt okay. So that's my main goal, is just the connection and creating characters that represent people. And I think that's a big thing for most artists, is just the connection and evoking feelings with your art in yourself and others, and especially on social media. I think if you're on social media, you at some level want recognition and a sense of community. Otherwise, I don't think you'd post on it, because you wouldn't care. Even if your goal is to sell your art, you have to create a community and a bond first. So I think that's important to mention, that the likes don't do it justice. The comments and the views don't make your art any less good, and getting 10 million views doesn't mean your art is any better. It's just luck. At some point, it is just luck that a video goes viral. You can do everything right and still wind up with 10 views, and you can do everything wrong and end up with 10 million views. There's no structure, there's no formula, but you have to do what is authentic to yourself, what you can maintain. That is a big thing. Maintaining your art and the content that you're creating is something that is huge. I think in terms of social media, being able to show up for yourself is important. So finding that is key. And I think I have just found this out about myself. Yeah, I don't care anymore. In terms of content, I'm gonna keep posting videos like these. If they continue to get 20 views, who cares? Doesn't matter to me. I enjoy it. I have fun with it. And it's better than not posting. Having 20 more views is better than not having those 20 views at all, you know? So everything is a win. Everything is beneficial and worth it in the end, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I don't have advice necessarily other than just to listen to yourself. And authenticity is a very important part too. You know, people can tell. That's why we see certain artists go viral. Like Chapel Roan right now is a perfect example of authenticity getting you to where you want. You can pretend to be somebody that you're not, and odds are you're probably not going to go anywhere. But the second you start listening to yourself, truly listening to yourself and filtering out what the world is expecting of you or what you think the world wants from you, is when you'll start to go where you want to go. And I don't know that I've found that out yet. I think I'm kind of scratching the surface maybe right now with this new content style that I'm doing. But I know my strengths are being mellow, talking a lot in front of a camera. I say all the time, put a camera in front of me and a mic, leave me here for 5 hours. If the battery's not going to run out, the SD card won't fill up, I could talk for 5 hours and never get bored. Don't put me in front of a room with people. That's a different story. But I know that my skills are talking and creating calm content and speaking softly and creating characters that are very deep and emotional. And I think I need to lean into that more, which is the whole style of this. And I like things that are a little bit more easygoing, you know? And this content is easy to make, easy to post, and I enjoy it. So I would find what you can enjoy and what you can maintain. And I hope that I put something in here of value for you to take away. If not, at the very minimum, I hope that listening to me talk was peaceful enough. I know people like my voice. People commented all the time, "Oh my god, I love your voice." And I'm like, I personally don't, but thank you. So at the very minimum, I hope that you had some peace brought to you or something. I don't know. Maybe you put this on while you were cleaning and getting your room ready or drawing, and I hope that it provided something. But don't be so hard on yourself, especially for social media. I promise you, all that stress is not worth it. Listen to yourself. At the end of the day, it is your social media page. It is your account. And you can post however much, however little, whatever you want to post. It is your page. You craft it. You curate it. And if people are annoyed, they will unfollow. But you will find the people that are meant to find you. So don't take it so seriously. It's just a TikTok account. It really is. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say, I think. I just felt the urge to like word vomit all of this, and I think it was also just like a journal session for me as well. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you like this type of content, you can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, subscribe to me on YouTube, and if you really like me, you can buy some of my art. I make prints, stickers, pins, sculptures, t-shirts, tote bags. Click the link down below in the description to get all of that stuff. All my social media is linked on there, website, blah blah blah. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I don't know what it's going to be, because I kind of work on a whim now, I suppose, but I'll see you in the next video. Yeah. Hopefully one day I learn how to end these, because I still don't know. And I may never know, but that's it. Who cares? Bye.